few weeks ago I released a new Lightroom plugin. It was a DNG camera make and model EXIF changer. I've received quite a number of emails telling me how good the plugin is and how much it's improved their workflow when they can actually rename the camera make and model. I've also received numerous requests for updates to the plugin, and I'm pleased to say that now I've actually implemented all the updates that I've received, and I've actually given it a new name. So we've renamed the plugin because this now more or less reflects what it does. So I'm just going to give you a quick tour of the plugin, and I'll just show you a couple of use cases, and I'm pretty certain that there's going to be others which I haven't even thought about. So before we can actually use the plugin, we have to install it. So we go to File, Plugin Manager in Lightroom Classic. I've already installed it here, but you'd press the Add. Then you go and look for the file that you've downloaded and unzipped. And once you've added that, it will show in here, and then we'll press OK. So now we're going to open up the plugin interface. So to do that, we go to Library, Plugin Extras, and then choose the EXIF make and model lens. From the menu, this is the new interface. So basically what we've got now, we've got the option not only to choose some presets that are pre-configured with the plugin, but if we want to create our own, we can now do that by actually saving the current preset. So for example, I'm going to just choose this file, and this was taken with a Nikon D3S. So I'm going to just quickly bring up the interface again. So it was camera maker's Nikon. Let's say that I wanted to change this to a, I don't know, something like a Nikon D4S for argument's sake. We can change the lens information. It could have been a Nikon 50mm prime. Then we've got this additional information where we can add notes to this particular file. So we have the option to add our own notes. I could put overcast day, no sun. We can add our copyright information and the creator and artist. Again, these are all optional fields. And just like in the previous one, we've got remember these values for the next run. With this checked, it's going to remember everything we've stored the next time we load the program. If we want to do a dry run, we can actually enable that to do a dry run without actually writing this information into the file. But coming back to this, we can actually save this as a preset. We can give it a name. I'll just call it D4 and save. And now that is under my presets. We can delete that preset if we don't like it. The idea behind the presets is that we can build up different combinations. So I'm going to press apply. You'll now see that the metadata has synced automatically. We no longer have to go up to the metadata menu and choose read in metadata. It's automatically applied. Press OK. There's the make and the model. And if we scroll down under the user comments, we can see where we entered the notes. It can be done across different images, so we can do batch editing, which is quite nice. So one use case scenario for a digital workflow is you may have a camera with a different lens on it, which is a non-proprietary lens. You may have an old film camera lens on that particular camera. So in that case, you're going to have to manually enter that information into the lens section because it doesn't know which lens you've got attached to it. The user notes, I thought about a user case for that. You may want to apply some information about that particular file. In this case, I've just called it an overcast day and no sun. Your particular workflow may have a situation where you need to create these user notes to attach to the individual file. Again, it's an optional field, you don't have to do it. If I bring up this set of images, this is where I personally use the program, and I use it when I'm actually scanning my black and white negatives. And I do use the DSLR at the moment for making the positive version of that negative. So in this particular case, it was scanned with a Nikon D810. I can see that. And what I'm going to do with this one, I'm going to go to Library, Plugin Extras, and the camera make I'm going to change to the actual camera make that I used when I exposed the photograph. And that was a Mamiya. And the model number would have been a Mamiya C220. The lens would have been the standard lens, so it would have been a Mamiya, and I think that was an 80mm lens. And for the notes, I could actually put some development notes in here if I wanted to. So I could write developed in Kodak HC110 for 8 minutes. Could write some copyright, and I could write my name in here for the artist if I chose to do that. And I could even save this as a preset by pressing the save button. I'm going to press apply. The metadata is synced automatically. Mamiya C220. There's the artist name, and there's the user comments. So I could apply that to single images, or just like with the digital files, I could actually completely do them across a batch edit. In this case, all 3 images was taken with a different camera, so there was no point in applying them to that same preset. So that's just a quick rundown on the new version. It's currently at version 1.4. It's now called the Camera and Lens EXIF Editor. It's a lot more user-friendly than the previous version. It's got a few more extra features, but the Save Custom preset was one of the main things that we were asked for. The notes is an optional one. That's something that I added for my own personal use, because I like to put in the development information for the film. There is some online documentation, just to briefly explain how it works, and you can access that by pressing the online documentation. So that's the new Camera and Lens EXIF Editor. If it's something that you're going to find useful in your own workflow, then I think you'll find it very useful, especially if you've got different camera and lens combinations and you want to change that EXIF data for those individual files. Until next time, thank you for watching, and as always, bye for now.